What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Stars Exchange for another Andor after show, episode 7 this week. A pretty good episode, 50 minutes, another long one. Keen to get stuck into this, but before we do, Mike, how you going today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's been you know, a week or whatever you call it. It's been fun waiting for the next Andor episode.
What's the
And
time for you
as
right
I
now?
told 3:30 a.m. It's 3:30,
Yeah,
and it's never fun to stay up that late, you know. You gotta adapt or die. But I'm excited to talk another week of The Crown here. I'm sorry, Andor, and I'm really excited to like get all into it. So you know how it goes. But yeah,
yeah.
hi podcast audience, we love you. Ari, how are you doing today?
That's right. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're still on the we've still got our hectic schedule, so the recording times are a bit off, but we're making it work still. Always want to talk about Andor. But yeah, no, I'm doing good. I'm keen for this one. Yeah, let's just get into it. Mike, what did you think of episode 7 of Andor? We're both just fresh off of watching it. What do you think?
You know, gotta say, I was sipping on some adult beverages throughout the episode just because it's kind of I don't do coffee, so I just needed to stay awake somehow. And those final seconds just left me buzzing. Like that was a good vibe. That was a good vibe.
Yeah.
The beach vibes were nice. The music was great. If anything, it reminded me of Stranger Things and the synth type music, and I thought it was great. Yeah, overall, I thought this episode was freaking fantastic. Not gonna drop the F bomb like I did last week, but I thought it was freaking fantastic. I thought that the elements of what the show's been about have been put into full display here, and it's like at this point, it's either you're in or you're out with the show.
Yeah.
I did a live stream before like a Andor kind of pregame, and judging from some of the answers there, people are like, they're like lukewarm on the series and stuff. And I think by now you should either decide whether you're like looking forward to every episode or you're just like, I'll catch it sometime. And
Yeah.
I think this episode really like if you're into the series, you're into it. And this episode was like another example of like, yeah, we got adult stuff. Cassian waking up the morning after with his girl, or I should say, what was his name? Um,
Keith.
whatever his code name was.
Or is that just wrong? Oh no,
Keith,
that was his
Keith,
name.
yeah, Chief Keith over
Keith was
here,
his name. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I forgot her
yeah,
name, but
Chief,
yeah.
Mr. Chief Keith.
Yeah.
But I don't know her name. But I thought this episode. By the way, if you didn't have subtitles on, you lost out a lot this week. You
Yeah.
missed out on the Yularen cameo. You lost out on a lot of stuff. So this was
I
another
had
great
subtitles
episode.
on
Now,
and I missed out on that. Where was
obviously,
he?
you
In the
weren't reading then,
ISB? In
but
the ISB room?
yeah, he was the one giving the speech at the very beginning about
That
the
oh,
Empire
I
tightening
thought it
down on
was
stuff.
him. I thought that was him, but it just didn't look quite right. So I was like, oh, I guess it's not. But there
Here
you
we
go,
go
it was.
complaining again. But I thought that Yularen was a great vibe this week. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I thought that I'm sorry, not this week, but I just thought overall Yularen was just he fit the bill. And
Yeah.
we have another The Crown actor up in here, and I loved he played Mon Mothma's childhood friend. And yeah, I don't
Uh,
care. I unabashedly love
uh,
The Crown. I think The Crown is great, and
unapologetically. Yeah.
I think that did I say it correctly?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or are you just mocking me?
I actually don't even know. I was just like in my head, I was like, that's the word that he was thinking of. Or
Okay,
that's how
great.
I think of that word in my head.
Oh, I said unabashedly. Okay, I didn't say
Yeah.
apologetically. All right. But anyways, Andor, another great week of just stuff. Like I love getting the aftermath of not only what happened on Adani, but what happened on whatever Cassian's planet's name is called. By the way, I have to
Yeah.
say, when I was doing that pregame live stream, I didn't realize how many people were inept on the names of the characters from the show because I'm
Yeah.
totally lost. I'm just like
Dude,
that
same.
guy,
Same. Yeah.
that girl,
That
that
planet.
person,
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
alien, that planet. I'm not into it. I'm not into it like people are, but very nice, very nice. But anyways, yeah, I love this episode. It didn't when I when I checked the time on the episode, I was like, "Oh my god, we're already like 40 minutes in." And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, it just it felt like to me like if I was watching like a Stranger Things episode where so much happens and I check the time and I'm like, oh shoot, we're like almost done with the episode. That's what happened today. So yeah, lots to overall just entirely just enjoy this episode. Gave us a lot of points, different storylines that I love. Mon Mothma's was so dramatic, and
yeah,
so was Cassian's, and I just yeah, lots of moving threads this week. But yeah, what did you think overall?
yeah. I mean, pretty similar to you. I mean, overall, just yeah, probably one of my more likable episodes of Andor, just because like as an actual episode, it really like held up well together. Like it didn't like need the other episodes to make it good. It was just as an episode was really strong. This was just like this made me realize kind of what you were saying. Like at this point, you're kind of in or you're out. I was like, yeah, like I'm fully engaged with every storyline going on with the show, whether it's the ISB, whether it's Andor, whether it's Cyril Khan, whether it's Mon Mothma. I don't know if I already said Mon Mothma, but all the storylines are just great. And they're like becoming. At first, I found them kind of tricky to follow, but now it's becoming really easier to follow, and the show just flows really nicely. And I can just see this all connecting come season's end in a really nice, well, in a well working way, and that's credit to Tony Gilroy. But yeah, this episode real good. I think my favorite story to see come to play was Andor's. I just think overall everything with that story was great. I loved seeing. Well, I didn't love seeing, but I thought it was a cool backstory to see what happened to his like found father almost. Because that's sort of we get it, everyone hates the empire, but there are people obviously have their deep reasons. And I mean, we actually already knew this from an earlier episode when Luthen says that he knows that his father was hanged, but um yeah, seeing it was something else, gave me chills. That was probably like just the thing that is really sticking out from this episode. Really, like the ISB stuff I've sort of was just watching just because like it was in the show and I had to watch it, but this episode I really liked it. I thought I love what they're doing with the uh, once again forgot her name, but the girl in the ISB, she's great. And then obviously the older guy leading it, love what they're doing with him too. Man, just good things to say only really. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything to say to that, or should we just start breaking it down?
Let's start mixing it up.
I mean, let's start with just the Andor storyline. As I said, probably my favorite. So we start with him. He's returned to his home world, or like the world where his found mother is living, and he pretty much says, "Let's get out. Let's do it." By the end of the episode, she's not keen. She says, "You go, but I have to stay." We find out what happened to the found father. And then, yeah, he talks to Bix, I believe her name is, and she's, not not with it anymore. She's blaming what happened on him, even though it was clearly Tim's fault. Oh, I mean, I guess it's subjective, but Tim probably to blame at this point. Um, and then yeah, he ends up. I assume some time had passed. He's on some water world, or like some world by the beach. We see a bunch of K2 looking droids. Maybe we're finally going to get that story. And then he's sentenced 6 years in Imperial prison. So quite the arc he had in this episode. And it's interesting because I think they've instead of going 3-3-3-3 in terms of the arcs of the show, Tony Gilroy in an interview said that it's going to go 3-3, and then this episode is a standalone, and then the next three will be an arc, and then the final two will be their own. So this is sort of like a standalone episode, I guess, just setting up what is to unfold in the final 5 episodes. But yeah, lot to digest. What did you think of the just Andor's general story in episode 7?
I want to apologize to our audience. My mic settings were all weird, so if you heard me, I apologize. But Andor's storyline here, I thought it was great that he went back home and we got some updates on family, friends,
Yeah,
ex girlfriends. I thought that that was all great that we got that story continued. Um, you know, I gotta say like Cassian's overall journey throughout the show has been most surprising. I think that every turn I'm just like excited to see where he's gonna go, but obviously like shocked at some stages. But I think it was pretty intense the way he came back home to his mom, and she was like, "Look, people are gonna blame you. You're at fault here. People are already blaming you. Like you need to leave.
Yeah,
Like you're not okay here." And same with his ex girlfriend. And I thought that was great. I was like, he's coming back home. He's like, let's get out of here and stuff. She's like, no, I gotta fight this is how I'm gonna fight the empire. I'm gonna rebel and stuff just by even just sitting here. And I was like, wow, that's great. That's great
yeah,
because everyone has different levels of rebelling and stuff. And
yeah,
that's her way. Her way was the way she treated those security people. Those sector police. She didn't budge with knowledge of Cassian and whatnot. So, but yeah, and then we find Cassian then already starting a new life already with some girl, or maybe it's just a one night stand. We don't know, but it was like pretty. I love that the show is grappling with. I said this on that pregame show live stream, but I was like, what I love about the show is that I mean, I love Rebels for what it is, like I truly do, but I love that Star Wars can also have shows like this where it's actually reflective of the darker themes of this era because it is a dark theme
yeah,
or a dark time in the galaxy, and I love that
yeah, yeah.
Andor is not afraid to like grapple with those themes and stuff, and and yeah, I think that overall I think that Cassian's storyline is going like I'm most interested in his storyline. Like, yes, I love Mon Mothma stuff, but it's like, where's Cassian going? Where
Yeah, I
does this
agree.
end up? How does this tie up? And yeah, like I love that. He even was like, if you ever talk to your contact, tell him I don't know him, whatever. Like, disconnect from me, forget me.
Yeah,
I did my job. I'm done. And then Luthen, on the other hand, wants to have him killed. So I'm just like, oh my god, what is going on?
yeah. Was it
It's
Luthen that wanted him killed, or was it just Vel or Val? We still
uh
haven't figured that out.
I think Luthen. I think that girl was sent by Luthen.
Right.
So,
Okay.
that woman contact that was talking about, and she was what? Okay, because I think she expected to talk to Luthen, but I think she was sent in his place. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, Cassian's story in here was really good. And the whole beach scene was so surprising, and I thought when the K2SO droid came up strolling, I was like, I thought they
Yeah.
weren't gonna do K2SO, but I was like, oh, okay, okay, I get you, I
Yeah.
get you. They totally pulled me on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was all of it was interesting, and yeah,
I still think they're gonna do the K2 thing this season.
I think they might hint to it or something.
You don't reckon they'll pull all the way through though?
I think Tony Gilroy doesn't BS around. I think he's
Fair
serious. He
enough.
seems like
Okay.
a
Okay.
serious man. I've watched his interviews, and man does not give any leeway to jokes.
That's
He's
true.
serious. He's like,
No, we
people are
love
like,
Tony.
we love Tony, but people are like, oh, what do you say to people that are not interested because they know Cassian's fate already or something? He's like, we're all living in a prequel. We're all gonna die, and it's like it's true. We're all gonna die one day. So we're all living
Yeah.
in a prequel right now. But
Yeah. He's
but yeah.
not quite
Anyways,
the Joker.
but Cassian's storyline, A+ for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's by far the most engaging part of the series so far. I think also as well, something I forgot to mention was the the mum said that, yeah, give up on looking for your sister, by the way. That whole planet is dead.
Oh
So
yeah,
what did you think of that? Because my initial reaction was that I'm still not buying it that that's like that we're done with that, you know?
yeah. No, we're definitely not done with it. I think it was just a cheeky reminder to the audiences that's like, hey, remember
That
when he
that's a
was at a
thing.
strip club? I'm sorry, not a strip club, at a
A brothel.
brothel, at
Yeah.
looking for his sister. So I think we're gonna continue that story. But yeah, that was pretty because I forgot about it. So
Yeah.
by the way, I'm glad that this show is detailed as it is. Like we just keep revisiting some stuff, and when we revisited, what's that planet's name that Cassian?
I think it
Not
starts with
it starts
which
with a
one?
K.
Oh,
The
Canary. That's where he's
Can-
originally from.
I'm sorry, the other one,
Oh, it starts with an F, I think. Is it like
Phoenix.
yeah, that's
No,
what I was gonna say, but I don't think it's that.
Ferrix. Ferrex.
Ferrex. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Ferrex. So, anyways, we
I'm
go
sure
back to
people love
Ferrex.
just watching us figure this stuff out.
I'm telling you guys though, on that live stream that people were with it and some people were not with it, and I was one of
Yeah.
the people that was not with it. I'm telling you, people do not know the names of stuff, but and which is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Ferrex, when he goes back to Ferrex, I was like, yeah, it's cool that like I feel like lazy show writers would forget, like it's like we will forget like Cassian's thoughts on Tim, but we actually go
Mm,
back and explore things with Tim, like what people thought. And I love how detailed and
yeah.
layered the show is, where it's like we get closure on that with
Yeah.
Cassian's character. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, he was out to get you, dude. It's like
Yeah.
cool because I feel like lazy show writers, not that they're
I'm
lazy,
with
but
you.
they'll just forget.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't we
they
don't
forget
ever
that the
get that.
audience actually cares, you know? Like, it's
Exactly.
actually so nice to see, like, that loose thread sort of just with a tight, bow, just to put it at an end, you know?
Yeah. So I'm
So yeah.
glad that we tied that up and stuff. But yeah, very very scary times, and the clone troopers as well. That was very nice.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really
That was
nice.
a chilling sequence.
That was really cool. I'm glad that we got some of it in the Bad Batch. Um we got
Mm,
some of those sequence I think in like the second episode, and then another episode
yeah.
with but we got like clone troopers marching around and shoving people down, and I was like, yeah, that's what happened after they took over. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to see that in live action.
Yeah, definitely. No, that was fantastic. Do you think, because now that I mean, not to be that guy, but from what the trailers have shown, I think we've seen all the flashbacks that they showed in those. Do you think we're done with flashbacks in the show? Or do you think they'll keep going to them?
I feel like we'll like I feel like I said this for Book of Boba and I was such an idiot for it, but I think that there'll be one more significant flashback before we move on. Or maybe that was just the theme for the first arc and they wanted to, carry it over. But I think there's some stuff left to dabble with Cassian when he was a kid. And I
Well,
like yeah, like I said, I love the way they went back to that time. And oh, like, yeah, that felt very World War II like, in a way. I don't know.
yeah.
It was very well
I
done.
I will say, in terms of the flashbacks, I personally feel satisfied with what we've seen. I feel like I'm informed. All the gaps have been filled in, and like I don't feel like there's something I'm missing out on. I think I've seen what I've needed to see. Maybe if they bring back the sister, potentially there's need for a flashback there.
That's what I'm
This,
thinking, yeah.
yeah. Speaking of the sister, though, I'm glad that whether that storyline is going to continue or not, I was glad that they brought her up because I honestly forgot that that was a thing that the show was exploring. Just because this show has so many different things going on at once, but
That's that's what
yeah,
I'm saying. I think that
exactly,
they
yeah.
did it as a wink wink to the audience to be like, "Hey, remember this?" So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Um, and then yeah, of course, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this prison break. Almost is that what we're looking at this next arc, a prison break
Yeah, I
type
was wondering how
scenario.
Cassian ended up in prison, and now we know. And I think that's when Cyro, what's his name? Cyclone, that idiot Cyro, the
Cyril Khan.
Cyro Karn. I think that's when he gets
Yeah,
involved. So I'm
yeah.
very curious. And as friend Austin told me, the guy who played what's the character from Rogue One? He was a character in Rogue One. He wore like this. He was a rebel and he was on Scarif. He wore this like hat. By the way, shout out Shore Troopers. But he wore this like goofy hat. I forgot what his name is, but he's in. Apparently, he's been spotted in the trailers in the prison, and I was like, "What?"
Right.
It's like, "Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's what I
Yeah.
seen." And I forgot what, but he's like a rebel soldier, and yeah, I don't really know. He's like one of the
Yeah.
more prominent figures in the Battle of Scarif,
Oh,
but he's in
right. Yeah.
prison. Oh, he's the
Okay.
one that rescues Jin. I'm pretty sure
That's what I
from
was thinking of. Yeah, the
yeah,
guy
that
that
guy.
storms in. He's like Halleck, Leona Halleck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
that
Oh,
guy.
right. Okay.
So he
Um.
was so Austin was telling me about that, and I was like, "Wait,
Yeah.
wait, wait, hold up." So that makes that so is that where when Casting gets recruited in the Rebel Alliance? We don't know because he could be in prison as well for something for other charges, and then
Yeah.
that's how they meet. So that's a
Are you referencing
theory.
like because in Rogue One he says I've been in Imperial prisons before?
No, but I guess now I am.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Cool. I was like, because you were like, oh, now we know how Cassian ended up in prison. Also, I kept thinking, I feel like they're just gonna retcon the K2 and Cassian comic. However, I'm really curious if they're gonna like nudge toward it or something. And I mean, I honestly forgotten what happened in that comic, but I'm curious to see if they will do a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge to that. But
Don't ever say that.
okay, so the next probably most interesting arc, at least for me, I thought was the Mon Mothma stuff. We're really starting to see, yeah, the roots of the rebellion, as I said, what was going to happen in this show. So she visits Luthen, and he pretty much says, "Yep, that was me. The Aldani's robbery, that was all me." And then she has the dinner party. I don't know if this was the dinner party that everyone is always talking about that they referenced a few episodes ago. But yeah, and she's starting to set up some connections, bring some more people on board, but can't reveal too many of her cards, of course, just yet. But yeah, what do you think of the whole Mon Mothma story this episode?
Like I said, the crown. We have the one character who played uh Peter Townsend from The Crown seasons 1 and 2. So that was pretty fun. Yeah, he was up in there and I was like, yeah, fellow brethren. I was excited to see him. And yeah, like I don't know, like the whole Mon Mothma stuff, I was really intrigued by. I thought we saw Governor Price for a second, but it was just her, someone having her, sporting her same hair, which I was like crazy. But yeah, the Mon Mothma stuff is also the most second intriguing stuff because it's like I feel like it's the connection with us to Star Wars because the Andor stuff feels very far out. And when I say Andor, I mean Cassian, and the Mon Mothma stuff kind of ties us back into where we know it, with Star Wars, like the Rebel Alliance, the cause, Coruscant, all those things. So whenever we go with Mama, and Mon Mothma, popular Star Wars character, or whatever, or well known. So whenever we go back with Mon Mothma, I feel like we're back at home base.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
oh my god, I'm feeling way too unfamiliar out here with all these beaches and this rock music and the synth music. We go back to Mon Mothma. It's like, oh my god, look, luxurious Coruscant. We're back home. So that's how I feel like. But
yeah.
when we were at that dinner party, Parks, he said he asked a great question during our pregame show for the entire series, and he was like, "Do you think we're gonna see any prominent aliens and stuff?" And I was like, "Man, this could have really used it." But at the same time, I thought you only get one alien in there, or maybe there's at least two. But it's like, look at, in the Empire, you don't really see aliens and stuff like that because they're um, xenophobes. Is that would that apply here? I don't know.
I don't know what the term is,
It's
but I know what you're talking about.
it's 2:40 in the morning. I really don't care. But that's what I would use. And anyways, so the Empire. So when only seeing one alien at the dinner party, I was like, damn, we're really evolving. Phases in the universe. So I was like, yeah, that's kind of scary. But
Yeah,
yeah, Mon Mothma's story, the tension, the tense moment she had with her
yeah,
and that childhood friend who I knew the actor. I was like, let's go. I thought that was very well done. Like it felt so tense that I felt like I was in their space listening, but also hearing the background noise of the party and being like, and she'll be like interrupt herself. She'll be like, smile, smile, and I was like, oh
yeah.
my
I
god,
loved
this
when she
is
kept saying that.
so good.
She's like, "Remember the
This is
smile? I'm just
so
telling you an
good.
old story." Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
also really
smile.
loved. I love from Mon Mothma the talking about Palpatine, and I don't know if she. I think she said something along the lines of like, "Oh, I learned from Palpatine. Hold the
By
stone for them to look
holding
at, and you
the
won't realize that I'm holding a knife to your neck or something
to your
like
neck.
that."
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm telling you, the
"Perfect."
writing in this series is just great. I'm glad we
Yeah,
have something in Star Wars like this.
yeah,
Something like this in Star Wars. But yeah, for real, the dinner stuff was great. The conversations with that one friend was great. I was like, oh my god, and she knows she's being watched. You know that
yeah.
that
Oh yes,
that
I love that detail.
the
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 driver
driver
is
is
like from the ISB. Yeah,
ISB plant, and then yeah, I just, oh man, I'm so glad that this show is exactly what they pitched it out to be, because it's not like the other Star Wars series where it's like, oh, it's gonna be this big thing. No, it's not. This is exactly what they were preaching for. They delivered in their sermon. But yeah, I all the Mon Mothma stuff, like you would just have to enjoy. And the IS, well, I we'll get into the ISP stuff in a bit, but
Yeah,
the whole talk about, you know, playing over here, playing this game, and then also like underserving them with, you know, this rebel cause and stuff, and her talking about like the separatist meetings, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. Like, I wish we could see more of that on screen, but I love what they're doing with this character and stuff, and she's
yeah,
and now I even thought of watching Rebels, like just specifically her episodes,
yeah.
and
That's what it made me think of as well. Yeah,
already viewing her in a different way. And when her disagreements with Luthen, because I agree with Luthen, no one builds a weapon without using it. You know, no one builds a
yeah,
weapon to not use it. And Mon Mothma's approach is very different. And Luthen isn't more in this in the more in the clearing of, more in the line of thinking of Saw Gerrera, where it's like,
yeah,
we're gonna do what we want. We're gonna fight these guys. We don't
yeah,
care about the repercussions and how it affects the larger at the galaxy at, you know, at large. We don't care. We don't care about
yeah,
the consequences. And Mon Mothma is like, we are strategically planning this out so this doesn't happen. So
yeah,
Palpatine doesn't come on us as down as hard. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty intense. Like, and I know you're laughing because like the Palpatine stuff in the show is really good. So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
I know Ari, you know, when we would play Battlefront, he would always pick Palpatine and just die every time it's Palpatine. So that's why exactly he's laughing. But yeah, go ahead,
yeah, yeah,
take it
yeah.
away, Ari. What do you think about Palpatine in this show being referenced like that?
Yeah, no, I loved it, and I mean, I agree. It's interesting to see get like some real clarity on what Luthen's outlook really is. And yeah, you're right. He is more in line with a Saw Gerrera type, which is interesting to see because obviously we know Mon Mothma, Saw Gerrera clash a lot in the future. So obviously, you know, it's almost like when we do go back and look at those Rebels episodes where they are bickering almost, it's like it's almost as if she's done this before, you know, with someone else. So yeah, but I'm really enjoying the Mon Mothma storyline. But yeah, let's talk about the ISB stuff because this was really good. This was been enjoying the ISB story as I said, but this was the first time it really pulled me in. As you said, Yularen was in there, which I still cannot believe that went over my head. I thought it was him, but it didn't fully process for me. Um, but yeah, we've got I believe her name is like Merv or something like that. I know it starts with an M. She is, yeah, she's starting to finally get her way. She's getting that other guy who was previously had jurisdiction on the Ferrix area. She's pushing him out of the way and saying, "Nope, the rebellion is real. I'm here to fight it." And the older guy leading the charge is fully on board. So with her. So yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. What did you think?
Yeah, another just other great stuff where we get exposition where they talk and we learn things. I mean, I just absolutely killed for more. Um, what's the major guy, the guy at the front? Like, I just killed for more scenes with him, and he told that what's her name, Deandra, something, but something with an M, major M. I don't. I
Yeah,
wish I could do her justice because she's great, and I love the
yeah,
way
no, she is, yeah.
she walked around and she was like, she talked to the one officer and she's like, off the record, like, I want this
Mm.
secret. This is, you know,
She knows what
type deal.
she wants and she's going after it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
Yeah,
glad that we have a character like her in Star Wars. I'm like, yeah, she's like so different, you know?
yeah,
And I love the moment that she had where she's just sitting there, and then the guy calls on her, and who, you know, we should have more people in her, like we should have more people in here like
yeah.
her. And she was just like,
Yeah, you're
me?
talking about me? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was,
Yeah,
that was a great moment. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm like liking her character more every week. And Yeah, like the whole chilling introduction to the ISB and where we fall aftermath in the aftermath of Aldani, with Colonel Yularen. Salute my Clone Wars veteran hero. Just kidding. No, he's a war whatever, but war prisoner at war. You know what? Whatever.
War
It's too
criminal?
late.
Is that what you're looking for?
War criminal. That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what I'm looking for. But Yularen, it was great to see him there in the flesh again. You know, we saw him in A New Hope, obviously. Then he got repurposed for Clone Wars, and then we saw him back in his roots in Rebels. And now here, seeing him in live action was great, and it totally fit the character to be like hammering down on all the stuff that was
Yeah.
going on, and that was a great chilling introduction.
Yeah.
So
Can I just say, I'm
yeah,
looking at a picture of him right now, and I see why I didn't think that it was Yularen. It doesn't look bad, and like, yeah, it's that I can see why it made me think
Star
about
Wars fans
Yularen,
will
but
never
didn't
be
think it
pleased.
was Yularen. I mean, it's fine. Like, I'm not complaining about it at all. It's just it didn't tick off in my head straight away. Oh, that's him. But no, you're right in the sense the way it was portrayed. I don't know who is playing him here, but yeah, really well done and did portray the same traits of the character, which is great. But yeah, I'm very interested to see where this one's going. It's kind of what I say every week. I don't mean to sound repetitive, but that is kind of just how I feel with everything. It's like, oh, cool. Can't wait to see what happens next. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
same.
yeah, for sure.
I was telling
Yeah.
friends that I don't particularly like, or Andor's just that type of show where it's like, just give it to me and I'll see how I feel. Like as I do every show here, I'm not at the end being like, oh, this is what I think is gonna happen, because
Yeah.
like this show is so different that I'm like ready to vibe with whatever,
Yeah.
unless it doesn't hit me a certain way. But like when we got to that beach stuff, I was like, wait, did you ever watch the Lego summer vacation
I
thing?
literally meant to sit down and watch it the other night and
Yeah,
then
well,
got
whatever, too
distracted.
late.
But no, but I
Anyways,
want to watch it. I will.
it reminded me of that type of setting where I was like, it was just funny to me where it felt like we were back on that beach in the Lego special, and Vader and Palpatine were just chilling out on the sand, and I was like, are they gonna come by? Because it literally just had that vibe of the music going. I was like, no way, like it's just gonna happen. Like Vader's literally gonna come down the.
Oh my god. Not again.
We need. Oh, I'm
Another
sorry.
one.
We're so
Another one.
another one. Well,
Yeah.
there we go. But yeah, I was expecting Vader something to happen.
Sorry, I can't. Oh man, this has been a great episode. Continue talking about the Lego special and how Andor
It's a
reminded you
very
of it.
great special that Ari needs to watch.
I've watched the holiday Lego special. I watched the Halloween Lego special. Yet to watch the Lego summer vacation special.
Oh, I guess they should name it Autumn or something because you seemed so disinterested in the summer one.
Well, I'll watch it when summer comes around for Australia. There you go. Because it came out in the winter here. I don't want to watch the summer special.
Just whatever. It's whatever at this point. I give up.
Okay, let's keep talking about this episode.
Yes.
Let's talk about Cyril Khan. So, not a lot happened to him here. He went in for a job. His mother had a lot to say about his outfit. And then he's got his job. I think were they meaning to portray it as this is a very boring job, but it's going to get him somewhere, or is it just he's nowhere, but he's going to get somewhere anyway?
I love the ending shot where he's just sitting there, and basically, in a complex of just all these other people, where it seems like Karn is always one that wants to stand out. Like, he was told, sit your butt down and don't do anything about this because we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want the Empire coming down, knocking at doors, being like, what's up? What's going on? So they told him to sit down, and he instead chose to stand up and have this moral obligation and stuff. And it's like I love that we get the
as his
opposite
mum
words.
said, he's always wanting to stand out, and like as the collar says, "Look at me," you know.
Oh, I didn't even put that together.
I only just put that together, but yeah.
Thanks so much. But we get scenes like that where it's like, it just, I love seeing the contradiction to that, to him being like one and, not one in a million, but just like the rest.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No,
I
definitely.
absolutely just, I thought that was funny, but the whole scenes with him, I mean, was it this? Yeah, it was just so, it felt so earthly seeing the guy with a clipboard being like, checks out. Ooh,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have a criminal record here. What's that about? I'm like, is he
yeah,
applying? It was just, it was funny. But anyways,
yeah.
totally ate those scenes up with him, and it was nice to see him again, and nice seeing him eat cereal again,
Yeah, I
like we
know.
all
I actually
clamored
just
about the first time.
love watching it happen every time,
Yeah, I'm like, oh, eat
unapologetically,
that.
as you would say.
I would no, I say unabashedly.
Okay, sorry. As I would
Yeah,
say,
there we go.
unapologetically.
Okay, there we go.
But I mean, that's pretty much most things from the episode covered. But yeah. Do you have anything else
There's
you want to just talk about before we?
uh we got to see, oh, what's her name? The Imperial um woman that stood behind last episode, where she was with them, but then she stood behind and she was in an Imperial outfit, and now she was part of the
Oh
Adani
yes,
and she was
yes.
on the
You're right.
speeder.
You're right.
Yes. I
Forget
forgot
the
her
name,
name,
but I know I
but
know exactly who you're
I
talking about. I think it starts with a C.
Seema? No, that's not right.
No, no, no.
Anyways,
It's not that.
I
Is it
love
Crix?
now we're just reaching. But I love that she was on the speeder and she just watches the Star Destroyer come down, like so Rogue One, like so, and we've seen
Oh
that in
yeah.
like the second
How did I
trailer.
forget about this scene? Yeah, that was fantastic. We saw it in the
It
trailer
was
actually, but it hit pretty
yeah,
hard. Yeah.
that's what I just said. We saw it in the
Oh, sorry.
trailer, but like seeing it
Yeah,
like come full motion, I guess, not full circle. I thought it was
yeah, yeah,
great. And
yeah,
when
for
she
sure.
was coming down that hill or that cliff, whatever, with the speeder, I love that she wasn't going like straight down, because that wouldn't make sense. But she was like, go down, curve, go
Yeah,
down,
yeah,
curve, go down, curve. I like, it's just attention to detail is great. Even just visually. So it's like, oh my god, this is great. But yeah, overall, like I really, really vibe with this episode. The seeing shore troopers again, that was great. And
yeah. That
seeing
was a
Cassian
pleasant
run from one
surprise.
of them. Like
Yeah,
I totally have those. I don't know if it's because I'm a minority and I just get that feeling. But whenever I'm around police, I just feel like Cassian, even though I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm just like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. So
yeah,
being seeing Cassian in that moment, just being like, I am I running here? Like I'm gonna hurry up. Like, oh, that was
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Because I feel
Well,
that all the
what
time.
were they talking about? He's like the short troopers like, you know what I'm talking about, and he's just
Yeah,
like, no. What? He's like, why are you running? You're just like them, and he's like, what? Like, was that a thing, or was that just meant to be like a funny joke?
no, I think that was a thing. I think that the trooper, I think it, I mean, that just happens in everyday life. I think people in law enforcement and stuff like that, they just profile. So it's like, oh, you're part of them. You're this, so you're part of them. That's what I
Yeah.
thought happened. That's what I took it
Yeah,
as.
right. Okay, maybe. But yeah,
Yeah.
that is the episode. Unless I've forgotten another major sequence. But
Um, yeah, I
we're
don't think
good.
so. I think we covered it all. We've covered it all pretty much. I
Yeah,
think too well. I think it's kind of scary. I think we covered it too well in here.
yeah. No, I agree. It's we've covered it to just the extreme. No one covers it as well as we do here.
No, not at all.
No, 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 not even close. Not even close. If you want to hear about the Crown, Andor, and the Lego Star Wars specials all in the same podcast, this is just the one to listen to, isn't it?
It really is, and we're not called the Andor After Show for any reason. Did I say that right? You know what? I don't
For
know. I
nothing.
still,
Yeah,
I just
pretty
gotta say,
close.
if
Say.
I just gotta say this, I gotta say this. People are complaining right now about Andor. It shouldn't have been named Andor, and that's the
Oh
reason for
yeah,
all of its low ratings and stuff.
I
And
saw
I'm
this.
like I haven't paid attention to the discourse in the Star Wars fandom because I'm honestly tired of it. After
Agree.
Kenobi, I'm like, I'm not doing this. And I didn't even get to hear the finale, like aftermath, because Ari came here, and I just didn't
Yeah,
care about. I was
yeah,
just like busy with life, and even afterwards, I just
yeah.
I was
No,
like,
I
eh.
feel you.
So I don't really catch up with the discourse and stuff. And I go on Twitter and I was like, you guys are nasty people. Um, so seriously, take a
I
shower
feel
or
that.
something. But I went on Twitter And they literally, I'm not even kidding, they literally were mad because Andor was not was titled Andor, and I was like, you guys do
Yeah, I saw
realize
this.
we have there's such a neat, like, think of Mandalorian. If you went 5 years back and you asked a random person on the street, hey, what's a Mandalorian? They would have been like, isn't that from
Huh?
Back to the Future?
Yeah, yeah,
They would have confused it with the
yeah,
DeLorean. They would, isn't that Back from the
yeah, for
Future?
real.
Like, no one knew the concept Mandalorian. But it's like you, so that was such a weird title where it's like The Mandalorian. It's like, huh, weird. It's like that's exactly what's here. Andor. It's just someone's
Yeah,
name. And it's Mandalorian is a people. So it's like Andor is a people as well. So it's like, you know what?
for real.
We don't care. We don't care about what you people have to say about the Andersons. Yeah, they could have named it Shadow of the Empire, or like Empire Rising, but we don't care. It's a show title. Who cares? It's Star Wars. At the end of the day, it's gonna make
Mm.
the news round. So if people want to tune into it or not, that's on them. Sorry, there's no Baby Yoda in here. Sorry, there's no Boba Fett in here. Sorry, there's no rematch of the century, which wasn't actually rematch of the century if they're fighting in front of the volume. Sorry, but it's like, do you get me? Like, it's like this
No,
is a
I'm
deeper
with you. I'm with you.
this is a
It's like we're
deeper show
finally
than
getting
just
something with substance, and people just are just
exactly,
nitpicking like the most ridiculous things, like the show title.
exactly.
Like, but honestly, I saw like one or two tweets about it, and I was just like, oh, I just don't care. Like, I'm completely with you. I
I
don't care
don't,
about the discourse
I,
anymore.
I
I'm just here
don't,
to talk
I don't
about it and enjoy it, and that's it.
exactly. I didn't care about it until I was told of such things, and I was like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've heard. Like, then you should have gone back and retitled The Mandalorian to like Empire Fallen or something,
Yeah,
if
like,
that's your argument. So, anyways, just want to
but
address
also
that
it
because
just
it is
doesn't
the
matter.
Andor
You don't
after
need to
show.
argue about it. It's just the name of a Star Wars show. All right, just
People
relax.
touch, for the love of God, please, or love of Star Wars, go touch grass, go outside, talk to people in real life. That will change your life. I'm not even kidding. Go outside
Oh
and talk to people. It would change your life instead of going on Twitter, Discord, Instagram, back to Twitter, Instagram, and then maybe Facebook once in a while. Get off social media. It's not good for you. Get off your phone. Delete Twitter.
this is
I don't even
some deep like content.
I don't even have Twitter on my phone anymore. I literally, like, my girlfriend. Well, anyway, sorry, that was weird to say. My girlfriend, she texted me and she was like, "Hey, I sent you something on Twitter," and I was like, "I got to go upstairs and get my laptop and check it like emails because I
Yeah,
don't check. I just don't check. I don't have it on for what? People are just arguing every day. So, anyways, that's the Andor after show. Thank you for joining us. We
yeah.
love you.
Give the episode a rating before we go.
Yeah, before we're gonna stare you down for 2 seconds here. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. By the way, last episode we got like 20 plus thumbs up. Thank you.
Appreciate
Make sure
that.
on Apple iTunes.
Yep.
Oh,
Spotify
sorry, on Apple
5-star rating.
Podcasts.
Yeah.
5-star rating right now. Right now, we're gonna stare you down. If you're on
Yeah.
audio, we're gonna breathe you down.
Oh
There we
god.
go. All right,
Uh,
do it.
give a rating for the episode.
Yeah. I guess I would say a 9 out of 10. This one's a 9 out of 10 for me.
I'm gonna go 8.5. It was very solid. But yeah, any final thoughts? I think we've said enough. I think we've said enough. Let's be honest.
I think we said enough. All right, we'll get out of your ear, everyone. Go have fun.
Yeah.
Go outside, touch grass. All right, where can
Yeah.
people find you when people are not touching grass?
At Star Wars _ exchange, but follow the podcast page at the SW Exchange. Where can people find you?
We just hit 345 followers, and we can't wait to hit 350 and maybe even 400. So
Let's go.
follow the mission. And you guys can follow me all _ Star Wars. I had 180K, now I have 179K because you guys are not following me. So make sure you follow me at
Get Mike
all
back to
_
180.
Star Wars. Get me
Let's
back to
go.
180. I pray it. All right.
Yeah,
We'll see you guys
for real.
next time. May the force be with you. Adios.